Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Disc Covers, the only podcast that reads, reviews, and ranks all 41 of Sir Terry Pratchett's seminal series of comic fantasy novels, The Discworld.
Wow.
I, as ever, am your host, Iris J. Pronouns are she or zere if you're feeling spicy. And we're back after a slight hiatus, here in the beautiful, balmy summer months with my illustrious co-hosts. June, why don't you go first, then Belina, then Grace.
Hi, I'm Juniper, she, her. I'm wonderful, everyone loves me, and I have never played Thud.
Well, I'm still Belina, she/they/CB. I'm always happy to be here, Thud or not.
I am the internet's beloved Princess Grace, she, her, they, fear, fair, if you're spicy. Personally, I'm thudding right now.
Wow! So explicit.
Apparently you can buy it like actual Thud board, like officially licensed Thud boards.
Oh, it is a
that
very
this
real
does
game.
not surprise me.
At this stage in his career, this was something that he was thinking about before publishing, yes. Much as there is a physical copy of Where's My Cow out there.
We're talking about Thud today.
Wow.
This is the... Oh gosh, which number is this? We're pretty deep in there. I think it's the 34th, I want to say. 34th Discworld book? Yeah, 34th. And it is considered by some to be perhaps the last book in the Bangers era. Considered by others to be the crowning zenith of Terry's career. And considered by most to be a all-around pretty good addition to the Watch series of mystery novels. I had forgotten almost everything about this book because I read it basically when it came... I think I read it when it came out.
Yeah, same.
And,
2005.
yeah, I remember liking it, but I don't remember... I didn't remember anything about it except for the fact that board games were involved.
Yeah,
That's funny because this is
Until
one of the
now.
books I remember best, actually. I don't know why, just maybe
Really?
because of when I read it, but I remembered almost everything in this book, and every time I hit something, I was like, "Oh, it's that scene, yeah!"
Hey!
I think I just had a connection with this book from whenever I read it.
It's good. It's got the entire Watch cast, like, on full display. It's got a bunch of cameos from a bunch of characters we haven't heard of in a while. And it really digs into the role of law enforcement in the fantasy setting of Discworld with regards to race relations. Although it handles it perhaps somewhat better than those words would lead you to believe based on our previous episodes.
Yeah, I know. He's definitely taken notes. He's definitely talked to people since then.
Yeah,
Vime's finally get iPad.
Yes. Before we get into it, why don't we get into the summary first? So whenever you're ready, our expert synoptrix Belina, why don't you take it away for us?
Bling.
A prominent head, aka Greg, of the dwarf community has been murdered only a few days before the anniversary of the Battle of Koom Valley, a major clash in which both trolls and dwarves claim the other ambushed them, whose anniversary inevitably riles up racial tensions everywhere, especially in Ankh-Morpork. The case is kicked all the way up to Sam Vimes of the Watch, as said dwarf was someone whose death is likely to inflame tensions into a full-blown conflagration. Unfortunately, the crime was committed in a series of mines and tunnels underneath Ankh-Morpork proper that, until just that afternoon, Vimes had no idea extended as far as they do. As such, he must deal with deep dwarf cultural barriers again, only securing their cooperation by way of suggesting the appointment of culturally dwarfish Captain Carrot to be the intermediary instead. He also picks up a really bad idea while he's down there, although that takes a while to become a problem. While the investigation uncovers multiple conflicting clues, a parallel crime of a famous painting of Koom Valley, rumored to be hiding the secret of a great treasure, goes missing, and several more bodies are found in nearby tunnels. Through everything, Vimes manages to piece together just enough to gather that the Gregs had found an ancient cube, that is, an ancient recording device, and subsequent infighting over its unknown contents had led to the murders. Right as the picture begins to come into focus, it is discovered that the Gregs have skipped town and sent a hit squad to assassinate Vimes and his family. This backfires and means that Vimes has ample pretense to assemble a group of senior officers, giving chase halfway across the disc to Koom Valley itself. Soon after arriving, Vimes uses a recreation of the painting to find the location it depicted and promptly falls into a sinkhole. Alone, injured, and possessed by the really bad idea that's been festering this whole time, he very nearly causes an international incident. However, being Vimes, he manages to pull himself back from doing anything he'll truly regret, if only barely, and finds what the Grags were seeking to destroy. The original Troll and Dwarf leaders at the time of the Battle of Koom Valley had been trapped deep in a cave underneath the valley proper, and used the cube to record that they were there to broker peace. Centuries of grudges were a result of a misunderstanding, and the notoriously treacherous valley's terrain did the rest. The actual cave that entombs the aforementioned leaders is discovered, and we're left with the knowledge that while this will probably change everything, it's going to take longer than the rest of the series will last for it to do so.
Yeah, woo!
Yeah!
I still feel like I had
Well
to throw
done.
half the damn book out of the window for that, but that's kind of what these
This
summaries
was a
have to
dense
do.
one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Actually, I mean, that was one of the things that stuck out to me most about this book. If there's one thing that really struck me about this book, and it's really sad knowing what's coming, this book felt maybe the most like a book that was thinking about Discworld as a universe that we've read so far. Like,
Yeah.
there's stuff that feels like it's setting up for future plots. There's stuff that very much feels like it's like, oh, okay, I need to deal with stuff I had thought about before. It's very deep in Discworld as a larger world in a way that not all of the books are.
There are references back to, I think it's at least Reaper Man, if not the Light Fantastic in this book.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pulling from a very, very wide range of Discworld books. And I feel blessed that we started this podcast, because only now am I able to really appreciate that.
This book was definitely one that lived in a society.
Yeah.
That is the thing about this.
My favorite little weird throwback cameo was that when the gang of rich community leader dwarfs come to see Vimes in his office to try to ask him to go to... By the way, just a heads up, folks, I really, really want to ask for your patience here, because I am going to try my absolute hardest to not call it Koom Valley during this entire podcast. I'm going to say it right now at the top.
Apparently,
It's not pronounced Koom Valley.
the audiobook pronounces it Koom Valley. Like, it has a slightly weird pronunciation on it, but I guess Koom Valley is the best we're going to be able to do.
Okay, well,
Those last two things you said sounded identical to me, dear.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just me.
anyways, they go to ask him to go to Koom Valley, and one of them is Gimlet, who is the dwarven owner of a pair of very successful delis,
Yeah.
as well as a takeaway place called Yo Rat. The delis that everybody references when they say that, wow, he has eyes like gimlets. Which is an extremely old-ass joke that isn't referenced in this book unless you know that joke, having read Discworld from forever ago, and you're like, oh, that's the fucking guy. There he is.
That's the guy with the deli.
The guy which everyone compares the eyeballs to. That's so weird.
That's wild. Huh.
There's all sorts of weird little shit. There's a little cameo from the Wizards in here. Mustard Ridcully helped them get to Koom Valley really, really fast by taping a whole bunch of broomsticks onto the bottom of their horse and carriages.
Pretty good.
Which,
The whole
pretty fucking cool.
It's such a good
whole-
bit.
The whole of Ankh-Morpork feels like it's more of him doing all of his little guys. All of his little guys instead of like just here's the watch book. I mean, Vetinari's here. Mr. Pony from the last Moist book from Going Postal is here. He shows up just to be a weird engineer.
There's a good amount of references to Going Postal and references to the truth in this.
Yeah.
Which is great.
The truth are all over the place.
Yeah, we've had the truth folks come back ever since. There's always something newsworthy happened, which is good. We see the librarian again. He's been, I think, gone for a bit,
Yeah!
but he's back,
Yeah.
and there's a good joke where someone, our
Pessimal,
Mr. Pessimal correctly identifies that he's an orangutan.
Mr. Pessimal is like sees all of the weird officers that Vimes is conscripting to try and stop a race riot, basically, and it's like, but sir, that's an orangutan from this area and with this thing, and the librarian's like, ooh, and pats him on the head.
Yeah.
Good job.
Gives him a banana.
You did it!
Nice work.
Everyone else fails that, but congratulations, you did it.
Well, we've already seen the inverse of the joke happen, so it's nice when somebody gets it right. Yeah. And in the middle of it all is our boy, Sir Samuel Vimes, just trying to have a normal day at work despite everything else. Trying to puzzle it out. I feel like we get Vimes in more of a... I like Vimes the best when he's in, like, detective mode. Like, I like watch books best when they are, like, detective-y kind of books.
Yeah, when his vision changes color and it shows him all the things he can grab in the environment and starts isolating Commissioner Gordon's tobacco molecules.
Yeah, when he turns on the thing that makes all the game devs cringe at all of the background work that they just lost.
Vimes thought his job would be a lot easier if someone put yellow paint on all the important things.
Vimes hates clues. All the yellow paint will do is tell him what to ignore.
Yeah, I think that he was really good in this book. I think he feels like a really well fleshed out character. You really feel like the weight of his previous books kind of builds him up to this, where he's definitely less impulsive than he was when we first met him. He actually, there's another reference in the book where he talks about, like, man, this job was a lot easier when all I had to do was arrest a goddamn dragon.
It was just so good.
Pretty straightforward. That was pretty obvious what I had to do there. This is a lot murkier.
Now it's all political. It's harder.
There's
Yeah.
also a lot of
Even
references to the fact that he has become this major figure. Like, multiple different random guys are like, okay, listen, yes, you're just Vimes, you're just a policeman, but also, you're like one of the most important figures in all of Ankh-Morpork, and if I can get you to do this thing, it will matter politically. And he's like, oh, I hate that so much.
But
The only thing worse than being a little chess piece is being a big honking important chess piece.
And despite all that, he has to keep feeding into it. Like when he shreds the fur coat with the peacemaker, because it's like, you can't fucking bribe me, Yeah. It sucks being the king, but also, you don't want to get demoted.
Yeah. You can't, deny that reputation, especially when so much of your career pivots around using that reputation as leverage when negotiating with others.
I appreciate that he almost did take the coat until it was pointed out to him that, fuck, I'm being bribed.
Yeah.
If Crucifix hadn't said anything, he very likely would have walked out with it just fine.
I think this is the first time we actually see Crucifix, actually get, a extended speaking scene on screen. And I would read an entire book about the Troll Mafia. I was so fascinated.
The Breccia.
Yeah.
They were really, really fun. And the way that they interacted, and the way that they told Vibes, like, hey, yeah, so I deal drugs, but I don't deal the real bad stuff. And there's some people who might be, and you should take them out. Definitely not because I'm trying to get rid of the competition, Here's some people who are dealing the worst stuff. And Vime's just like, I fucking hate you, but, I'm not going to say no.
My brain just went through the two different steps of, man, I would love to see a CSI Ankh-Morpork, but no, we got that, and it was terrible. And then it went, man, you could probably make a really good adventure game based around the seamy underbelly of, oh, right, we got that too. And
And then of course, you reinvent Discworld Elysium.
We are always reinventing Discworld Elysium. You know what Vimes felt like to me? I've said this before, and this book, even more than ever, I read this book and went, wow, in this book, Vimes really feels like Batman.
They should make this book, except it's about a witch looking for her lost cat in the Ramtops.
Grace.
They did! That's our next book we're going to be reading.
Oh, there you go.
We have done that. No, but the entire thing of just hey, so there is an all-powerful being of vengeance that's only purpose is corrupting people, and what's it up against? One really grumpy guy who refuses to ever let himself off the hook, which is this feels like a Batman story. This feels like exactly what I would expect.
I literally was going to say it reminded me a lot of Grant Morrison's run Batman R.I.P., where Batman essentially gets driven insane and his personality shatters, but it's okay because he has a backup personality that he's subliminally programmed into his mind, the Batman of Zur-Ed-Ar, which is taken from a old ass '60s Brave and the Bold run that he essentially uses as a control level of madness to keep from going really crazy until he can regain his sanity, which is something that is always happening all the time to people in Batman comics. They love talking about being insane like it's like a Dark Souls status effect.
I mean, yeah, it's Batman. Every Batman villain is what mental illness can we pathologize?
It's very, very problematic, but also, unfortunately, it results in some very cool design villains.
Yeah.
But
I hate when
this reminded me
Batman.
it reminded me a lot of that, where it's Vimes just is so policeman coded that he has created a fucking cool ass magic policeman in his mind, and that acts as a mental antivirus.
I mean,
like a tulpa.
That tulpa has come up before. It was in Night Watch.
Oh wait, where?
No, not literally, but that the part of his mind that goes, no, you can't get away with killing this guy because that's not the way this works. This isn't the way cops work.
Oh,
you have to do this right. It's an extension of that, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I think it's existed for a long time, but it has gotten a name and a shape in this book.
I just realized that was foreshadowed at the very start, where he was talking about how policing lives in your head. How the job of a cop is to put a little policeman in everyone's head so they obey the rules, because that's the only way the system works. Fuck.
He also has the whole conversation with A.E. Pessimal, where he's like, who watches The Watchmen? I do, obviously. Oh, it's a well laid out book in most ways. I do have one thing though with it that I'm like, I don't know about, but it's more of just how I feel about kind of the way the ending of the plot goes. It's
Lay it on us.
Pratchett.
You telling me a Pratchett book has a weak ending? No way.
So I like the ending, but this book, like a lot of the books, it kind of feels like every single person is just like, yes, of course, I planned for this the entire time. We have so many major Vetinari-esque figures in this. You've got Vetinari, but you also have Mr. Shine and the Low King.
Him Diamond.
And Bashfulson doing a similar thing. And all these guys, and it feels like the end of the book is just kind of all of them going yes, of course. I mean, you could say that you solved the mystery, but I mean, I let you do it, of course.
Even
Every
Vimes
single one of
goes
them kind of doing that to different levels.
Vimes just goes, man, does Vetinari feel like this all the time? Is this just what his life is like?
Yeah.
Isn't it great that there are all these incredibly devious and cunning people in positions of power who all wanted peace and all decided that everything working out was to the best and actually super cool and epic and fine.
Well, it is a fantasy series.
What a drawback it would have been if there had been somebody of significant power who had decided that it would have been better if the truth had actually stayed buried. That would have been a real pain.
I mean,
nobody was
good
like
thing
that.
He died in the intro.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's more just like it ends up. It's hard for me to get really excited about the mystery when it feels like every single character is like, yeah, actually, I'd already solved the mystery, and we were already doing it, and you were just a pawn, Vimes. To a bunch of different people kind of say this to him, and it's like, well, then what was the point of him solving the mystery? Well, it's not a huge complaint. I think it works pretty well. I like the ending a lot. The whole the scene of finding what's down there is really good, and I like a lot of the ways it ties back in on itself. I like Detritus bringing Brick down there and hitting him on the head and going remember, and him being like, well, okay. There's a lot of really good bits there, but it did feel a little bit. I was just kind of like, okay, so who's out gambiting who here?
Yeah,
everyone. Okay, sure, yeah, all right, that's fine. Maybe that was just me, though.
I don't necessarily think that everybody knew what. I think they certainly didn't actually know what was down there. I think it was more that just everything worked out and everyone involved went, huh? Well, sure, let's go with it.
There were the folks destroying the thing, but once everyone showed up, they kind of had to stop, you know?
Once Vimes showed out with a big axe screaming, they had to stop.
Yeah. Once everyone listened to the
It feels
cue.
like after a point, the book kind of the political machinations take a backseat to being a story about Vimes and about Vimes controlling his inner turmoil, and also Vimes being the most wife guy and dad guy who ever lived on the face of the earth.
Vimes is
I do love that Sybil got. He is. I love that Sybil got to do something in this book. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. She got to use art skills, which is rad. The thing that they're referencing, like the L-Space annotations referenced a actual, they're called cycloramas, which are big paintings that are painted in a 360-degree view, often of famous battles. It references one that's in Europe or something, but the one that springs to my mind is one based on the, I believe it's the Civil War, called Pickett's March, that I think the original is somewhere in, like, I want to say Virginia or something, but there is a modern art reinterpretation of it in the Hirshhorn Contemporary Art Museum in Washington, D.C., which, if you've been there, and I assume that if you're listening to this podcast, you're an individual of culture and taste, so you'll, of course, be familiar with contemporary art museums. It's a kind of a concrete donut of a building, and the Pickett's March took up, when I went in 2023, takes up an entire floor. It is an entire 360-degree mural creation that is an abstracted and rejuxtaposed, remixed, super-duper gunged-over reinterpretation of Pickett's March that reframes the conflict with sort of a lot of extra sort of anguish and terror, and it's just really a powerful piece of art. If you live in the DC area or you're near it, go check out the Hirshhorn. It's worth your time. Sorry, that was kind of a tangent, but
it wasn't a tangent. That was
people love context.
It didn't have. The secret is that America is fucked. That's the big secret of the Pickett's March interpretation of the Hirshhorn. But yeah, I thought it was cool that they had that in this book. Those are real things. People used to really paint those.
Hell yeah. Oh, so speaking of the painting, L-Space points out that it's a whole big Da Vinci Code reference, which I'm willing to believe. But the thing I was thinking of is noted YouTube man Ashens made a video on this, but a book called Masquerade, where a guy buried a treasure, like a golden hair, somewhere in England. And,
I remember hearing about this. Yeah,
and it's on the L-Space annotation too. And so the idea was you would buy this book, you would buy this picture book, and it had all these red herrings and such in there. But if you figured it out, it would give you coordinates to go dig up the actual golden hair. And people fucking loved it. It was all over the place, and that's what I kept thinking of. The Ashens video on it is really good because there's a lot of like fucking skullduggery. There's some shit with like a bunch of nerds actually figured it out, but they dug like 2 feet away from the right place, and then some other assholes followed them and dug it up instead.
Yeah, it's this whole big dramatic thing. It's wild. Also, those books, that caused an explosion of that type of book, of what if we did a book with a puzzle in it, and then you could submit things for the puzzle. And one of the books that followed in those footsteps was a maze. And Maze is the inspiration for the video game Blueprints.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Weird.
People still haven't solved all of Maze.
I think it might be solved, but like it's interesting. There's a whole website about it I found. I need to go back through it.
Yeah. I know that one of my favorite picture books growing up was Graham Bass's book, The 11th Hour, and that had a similar contest when it came out because it's about a dinner party with a group of anthropomorphic animals at an opulent house, a mansion, but there's codes and secrets and logic puzzles hidden in every lavish illustration. And at the end, the entire feast for the banquet has been mysteriously devoured. And it's up to you, dear reader, to discover who done it. Very cute and very fun. I love books like that. It's so cool. This one definitely seemed more in the lines of like weird conspiracy shit. Very Da Vinci Code. Very weekly Da Vinci. very Weekly World News type shit, very Nostradamus prophecies type shit.
It was fun though. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed all the stuff that ended up like reconnecting on itself. A lot of things that kind of happen. I like the kind of shift that the book takes midway through. One thing I actually did. Yeah, no, this is something I actually did like a lot. Was when for a lot of the book, it seems like the thing that's happening is preventing the slowly boiling over racial tensions in Ankh-Morpork, which we'll talk about in a minute. There's the whole like, oh, people are stirring up shit, something's going on, there might be a huge like something really bad's gonna happen, people keep quitting the Watch and all that. And then Angua and Sally find all of the dead bodies in the mine. And at that point it's like, okay, people have realized that something is up, that this is not, there isn't some big secret and someone didn't like, there isn't something. And now the book is about getting vengeance for those guys. Now the book is about the struggle between getting revenge for what happened to them versus justice in that way. And it shifts tone in a major way. And I really like that, actually. Because it made it was able to move past the plot of the first half of the book into something different and interesting without feeling like it lost where it was going.
Yeah, it's the two poles of policing, which are keeping the peace versus pursuing justice.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's an interesting turn that the book takes, and I liked it a lot.
It's well paced, which Terry has had pacing issues in the past. So this one, wow. Speaking of, by the way, just want to give a shout out to one of my favorite new characters in the Discworld series, Sally, the police Dracula. A fucking fantastic new addition to the cast.
She's so great. She's so great in this. Oh.
I love that Angua just hates her on sight.
Immediately
but they have to do the...
this bitch eating crackers mode just immediately like, oh, she doesn't know how hard it is to be me, and of course they're both thinking that about each other.
Yeah, but it quickly grows into like very, very like, it's, I guess we'll hang out, and I guess we'll have girls' night, and I guess we'll paint our nails, and we'll talk about boys, and I guess that we're just gonna hang out a whole bunch now, but that doesn't mean we're friends, okay, bitch? You better keep on your friggin' toes, okay, bitch? This too is Yuri.
Yeah.
Absolutely, this too.
We have the Yuri of absence and the Yuri of presence.
The Yuri of too much presence. Yeah. The Yuri of, this fucking gal again.
Yeah,
and it's great too that, like, Sally does end up being a spy, but, nobody really cares.
Yeah, like a kind of a cool spy who, I guess is fine.
I mean,
also, he does save Vimes' life.
It was just sort of incidental.
Also, a lot of the book being like, Angua's looking like an idiot for being kind of an asshole to Sally because you can tell that Angua's just doing this for werewolf reasons and stuff. And it's like, come on, she's not. So having at the end Sally both being a spy, although not in a major way, in a more reasonable way, honestly, and also like revealing it through the stupidest way possible is a bit of a moment of like, yeah, of course she did. That makes you feel a little bit better about, I don't know, made me feel a little bit better about Angua.
Yeah. I think, I saw some people talk about, I've seen some people talk about the Girls' Night Out scenes as being completely superfluous to the plot of this book. And I would agree, but I did love them very much, and I would I would read a book that was just that.
Yeah.
That would just be that.
I'm glad we got more time with Nabi's girlfriend.
New girlfriend.
Yes!
This is another W for sex positive Nabi.
I don't know. I think that Tawny, oh man, I got some. I was like reading that and I was like, okay, so now is this woke or broke again?
Okay,
because like on the one hand they are talking about like, yo, she's a stripper and she's really good at her job and it's cool, and Nabi's like, I think this is cool. I am very sex positive about this. This is rad. On the other hand, she's dating Nabi because she doesn't think she could do any better, and because she's like, she has terrible self-esteem, which is inversely proportional to her smoking hot babe looks. And they have to explain to her that she can do better than Nabi, which, like, on the one hand, like, okay, but, like, I don't... There's a difference between, like, you shouldn't get so down on yourself, and I think you should break up with your boyfriend, who is also my coworker who I have to go in and see tomorrow at work.
Yeah. To Nabi's credit, he respects women so much, he does take it in stride, decide to go back to the lady who throws fish at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this... I feel like my thought on it the whole time was, like, I kept waiting for all of the red flags to coalesce into something really awful, and then it just kind of passed, and I was like, thank God that wasn't as bad as it could be. Like, it was fun and good, but I kept being like, ooh, but then it didn't get as bad as it could be.
Also,
if this was a book written like 10, 15 years before it did, it would have gotten bad.
Also, the joke of Nabi putting an IOU in her garter is pretty funny.
Bold.
I really loved the bit at the very end where Vibes is like that no one can find the incredibly important artifact, and Vibes is like, okay, fuck, I hope this works. Nabi, did you acquire the thing? And Nabi's like, he's like, did you definitely not steal the important artifact? And Nabi's like, yeah, I acquired it for you.
I picked it up for safekeeping, sir.
Yeah.
So good.
So funny.
Speaking of the cube,
you are such an old Discworld character that you will act exactly as I assume you will. Excellent.
Speaking of the cube, I think one of my favorite jokes in the book was like Vimes asks Carrot what a cube is. He's like, well, a cube is a kind of device, sir.
Uh-huh.
It's such a a monad is a monoid in the category of endofunctor's ass explanation is completely useless.
I will say that I feel like that's really a sign of how, like, the kind of era that the Discworld's flavor of fantasy is existing in at the time this book is written, as opposed to when the series started, because I feel like the rise in, like, both in terms of, like, as a video gamey practice specifically, but also in terms of a writing practice in general, where, like, instead of having, like, yes, the dread orb of Salamdujak, taker of minds, breaker of infinities, scary shit. Now it's like, you could tell this thing is crackling with power. We call it Cube.
It's not even a Cube 2 hypercube.
The Cube is a device, but we capitalize it. So that's how you know it's important. We're on that Bungie shit.
Yeah.
We're on that, like, this is a proper...
I bet in the next book, they're going to find the final shape. It's going to be a Dorito.
Well, there was a final shape. It was two cubes stuck together that were rotating.
Yeah.
What if there were two cubes?
That'd be fucked up for what? One of them spun around the other really fast.
I thought so.
It's actually really slow. It's just you can't stop it from spinning. And this is one of the things, like, it seems really boring unless you have any engineering experience and you go, wait a second.
I feel like this is very much this felt the most like Pratchett. Like, this is the sort of thing my friends would come up with for a D&D game, which is what I want from Pratchett a lot of the time. It's just like, okay, the magical artifact is just two balls spinning around each other, but they can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And you can use this to power an entire city because it's that cool.
Yeah, because our perpetual motion cubes.
Yeah. I really liked what he did with the devices there as a thing. It's an interesting idea, and it's fun.
Yeah. It really makes you, or it really makes me imagine, like, we don't get to it during this run of 41, but it really makes me imagine a Discworld novel or series set at a significant amount of time after this, where it is a lot of the technologies that we're seeing get set up have already been in place for several decades and have been iterated on for several decades.
Oh yeah, because you can
and it's
feel
a lot
them
more
being
of
set up here. You
Yeah,
can see with
Yeah.
you can see the hints that, like, Or are they going to do the subway system book
Yeah.
next? Is that where this is going?
Like, I think that's what Raising Steam... Because you see Veterinary be like, oh, you can drive a train with this, huh? And also Elspace points out that the mine sign that's a circle with 2 horizontal lines through it is just the London Underground logo.
Oh, God, you're right. Fuck, I forgot about that.
I didn't notice that because in my
Damn
notes, put the lines through vertically. But no, it's the London Underground.
It's the fucking subway logo.
Yeah. I mean, that's gotta be what Raising Steam is, right? It's the train book.
Yeah,
Raising Steam
that's
is the
going to be
train
our
book.
most...
We'll see how it is once we get there, but yeah, I'm so mad.
Sir Terry's like, all right, we gotta hit all the autism before I get out.
That tidbit has got to be the most British thing in this book. Also, I haven't read Raising Steam yet, so I'm really excited to read it.
I'll keep my comments about it to myself.
I hear it is just fine, I know. That said, it is Discworld I haven't read yet. I'm just excited to be here.
What if it zags on us the Raising Steam is actually the book about selling video games?
Maybe. It can't be as bad as Interesting Times.
Which are implied to exist because the Gooseberry offers to play a game of, like, Schlorp with Vimes or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah! I forgot. We also have an AI in this.
Yeah,
I
Wow.
love the little incredibly angry AI that Vimes was like, wait a minute, I can make you do paperwork.
Yeah.
Yes!
It's like you can do spreadsheets. Yeah, I'm glad Vimes finally used his iPad.
No, okay.
And also,
It's-
in 2 years, there's gonna be an iPhone. Just watch.
I deeply appreciate because, like, okay, it's a gooseberry, it's a blackberry. The blackberry
Yeah.
is the first point at which PDAs actually took off. There was Palm Pilot before that, and the Disorganizer was really more of a Palm Pilot before this. But they were clunky, gimmicky things. The blackberry was the first actually like huge. Like the business world loved that fucking thing.
Yeah, and it's 2005, and so now it's like, you know, having a cell phone is like a normal human thing and not a business dipshit thing. And in 2 years after this, we're gonna have the iPhone. It's gonna be really normal to have a gadget in your pocket all the time. Like it even makes an iPod joke.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
we
you know,
moved from
which is
the
really
era
funny
where,
too.
like, having a device that does things for you is, like, really, really weird and bad, or, like, really weird and only a tech guy would have it, to,
it's
like,
business
the average
dipshit code.
businessman could have this. It could
Yeah.
make sense that someone would get
Yeah.
this for Vimes as a reasonable thing.
Sir Terry, how come you didn't put the Nokia N-Gage in your books? It would have been contemporary. They had him in 2003. Why don't we see Vimes side talking?
I can't figure out why. I cannot imagine why we don't see him side talking.
I want
Shocking.
fan art of this so bad. I do think it's interesting that, like, you're very right, and, like, as a contextual thing, it's funny that cell phones, like, just 2 years after that, the iPhone becomes a thing, and now smartphones are so ubiquitous in culture that, like, from what I've heard from, like, TTRPG designers and, like, fantasy writers and shit, like, people just kind of expect an iPhone-shaped thing to be in their fantasy worlds now, because, like, of course there would be, because there's such an obvious part of regular life. Why would you not have that? Which is wild.
It's strange.
Like, everyone, like, modern day, it's like, oh, of course everybody has a Stone of Far Speaking or, like, a magic mirror or something like that hooks up to fantasy Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, you know, obviously you have to sync up your link pearl so you can have your little earpiece that talks to people.
Yeah. That's just how people's brains work. There is a base level of communication that is expected. So, I don't know. It would be fascinating to read a Discworld book that is set several decades or, like, half a century after these books, just to see what the shape of that would be. We're not going to get it from Terry, obviously, but we can dream ourselves.
Place your bets, folks, for the whatever fantasy analog for ChatGPT we get.
Oh God! Don't make me imagine that.
that's just summoning demons. That's just summoning demons.
Yeah, that's definitely summoning demons.
Yeah. What else to talk about with this?
Oh, there's
book?
so
There's a
much.
lot of random characters. We didn't talk about A.E. Pessimal.
Oh, I have so much to talk about
Yeah.
A.E. Pessimal. I
All
took a
right,
lot of
Grace,
notes on
please
this
go
guy.
off about A.E. Pessimal.
Okay, so A.E. Pessimal is the fucking civilian bean counter Ventnari assigns to the Watch to, oh, you're being very inefficient. We have to make sure you're using all your money wisely. And I'm of two minds on this guy because, he set up as this fucking bean counter who doesn't understand how policing is done. And he does have a fun arc in the book where it's like, where it's like, in a worse story, this would be like, oh, these civilian bean counters could never handle real police work with their talk of rights, and are you using the state's money wisely, and should you be beating those people? And his arc, real quick, is that Vine is, they're all going out to set up barricades to make sure another battle of Koom Valley doesn't break out in Ankh-Morpork. And he's like, okay, we need every hand we can get. Mr. Pessible, and he gives Mr. Pessible the armor, and he scares him with all the other folks in the yard. And eventually Pessible, gets really into it, right? He's like, he gets really into it. He, goes after a troll with his teeth. He's like, oh, I can do it. I'm a cop now. Which is, a fun arc for him. But also, it does kind of sour me where it's like, oh, how dare you try to do civilian oversight of the police? You don't understand what it's like being a cop. You could never possibly hold us accountable with laws and rules.
I'm saving
I do think it's...
all of my thoughts on... Hey, this book has some weird... What's this book's relationship to the police until, after we finish talking and I do my long... What are the themes of this book? But boy, it's interesting.
It's another case of listen, we just need some perfect guys who are really good at the job and could never do anything wrong.
We have put so many perfect guys in this book. This book requires so many perfect guys in order to stop race riots. We need so many perfect guys who would never do anything wrong poured into this book. I was going to say, I do think it's funny that Pessimal does eventually become oorah, I am cop now. But Vimes eventually is like, oh, wait, no, we do need civilian oversight in this position. I do need a guy who's good with numbers and paperwork and stuff like that. You're going to become very valuable to me, actually, AE. You're going to get your own office. So, that does kind of soften the whole weirdness of that attitude a little bit, where it's actually... this dude was really necessary, but you're not wrong in that his arc does feel a little weird.
Yeah.
For most of it.
Yeah, because I would argue that hiring a guy to, do your math, which, is useful and part of modernizing your thing, that's not civilian oversight if you pay his salary, right? This is cops chafing us having to wear body cameras or,
it's interdepartmental conflict. Yeah. It's oversight from the government.
It's strange.
Which is weird.
But so is a lot of Pratchett's police force in general.
Yeah. We really kind of coalesced Pratchett's ideal statement on policing in Night Watch, and that's why that book is at the top of the list.
Yep.
And then more books about policing kept coming out from Terry after that, and they were less focused.
The thing about this book is it's just kind of in that space of Pratchett's it has the same problem we mentioned a bunch of times. I wish that Commander Vimes, who is straight as an arrow and would do this the right way, was just in charge because he's cool.
Yeah.
And I also wish that we had a police force that was run by someone who didn't suck ass and was very cool.
Yeah,
that'd be
exactly.
Awesome. That'd be cool as hell. Oh, we don't.
We do even get a Night Watch mention where they're building a barricade in the middle of Ankh-Morpork, and they're remember that glorious revolution barricade? Whatever happened to that guy Keel? He'd have some tricks. You learn anything from back then, Vimes?
I wish.
That
was a weird shout out because it was it's weird that you're talking about that period favorably because from what I remember, it was awful. A bunch of people died, even in the revision of it.
Yeah. It was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange. It was a strange callback to put in.
Oh,
here.
they're building a barricade.
That is my favorite book. That callback was the most felt a bit like Pratchett just going, "Hey, remember that other book I wrote?"
Remember that other barricade?
I mean,
because he's like,
the barricade part worked great, was the thing. Like, a lot of other terrible shit happened, but the barricade was like one of his big successes, because normally people did die on the first cut of it.
What else to talk about? What other character? Like, there's so many fucking characters in this book.
There was Mrs. Pickles and Pointer. That was cute.
Oh yeah, them. That was great.
We got the entire Thud scene with Mr. Shine.
Yeah, I do love the Thud scenes. Like, it got me tearing up a little bit at the end, where it's like, no, they set aside their differences. They played the board game together. They they found peace with each other. It got me tearing up a little bit.
I do love the part of it where they're like, they find the Thud boards at the end, and they're like, the game had already been printed in the paper, and scholars were saying it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's just this, like, it is a really great moment.
It's really good.
It's an interesting idea. It feels very, how to say this? I'm going to be a little bit mean here. All of it felt a little bit like the sort of view that some nerds had in the early 2000s of, wow, video games can change the world.
Yeah, it's like...
Gamers rise up.
Yeah.
Like
Nerdcore
I'm not being
will
mean
change the world.
God, I wish I could feel that way. But just there's this a little bit of a feeling of like, we're going to connect and we're going to get better and we're going to do it through connect. The youth is going to connect over learning about each other. They're going to play games together. They're going to have these connections. What we thought the internet would do.
I would argue
we all
did.
went to hell.
I would argue it did. I think it helped a little bit. It didn't help as much as it could, as much as we all hoped, obviously.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for it, and I love the internet, obviously, and all this stuff. But like, it's hard. I definitely don't have that same sense of optimism that you can feel Pratchett has here.
Yeah, there is forever the great dream that if only we could talk to each other, it would make the world smaller and it would usher in peace. And like, it does help, is the thing. It doesn't go all the way. It turns out there are other factors. Even when we understand each other just fine, there are other factors in play, and incentives. Some people have incentives to not do that.
Yeah, it is. I am much less optimistic about the power of the internet and nerd stuff and other similar things nowadays than I was when I first read this book as a kid. But I still feel it. And honestly, it was really nice to read that, to read that sort of thing. It really resonated with me because it's what I wanted.
It got me
it's
teared
what
up a little.
I feel. Like, I mean, I am a better person because I experienced art from all these other places. I am a better person because I found all of this stuff and discovered cool pieces of media that I wouldn't have discovered otherwise, and talked with people who I wouldn't have talked to otherwise. The only reason I'm not a conservative shithead, like every single person in my life was training me to be and trying to convince me to be, is because I met people online who helped me not do that. And like, I feel that, but also, as much as that applies to me and it really resonates with me in a real way, and part of the reason I love this book so much, it's also something that I don't really look at the world at large and go, yeah, this is definitely how the world at large works anymore.
You know, if they made this book these days, Thud would also make you transgender.
Yeah. I mean,
that happened to me
book these days, no joke, a lot of the random characters would be more trans because that's the sort of people it's about.
If they made this game today, it would be an analog for how trans people are really good at speedrunning.
This is true. I think that, I mean, I completely agree. And also, speaking as somebody who has been creating and researching for a cyberpunk webcomic for the last decade, I feel like being aware of how much the promise of technology, like, the problem isn't that technology's promises failed us. They succeeded, but the problem is that they didn't fix everything, and the stuff that they didn't fix got way, way worse and exacerbated some of the things that it had no hope of ever fixing. Like, you can't blame... Like, the internet is inherently very, very cool, but the fact that all of the cool stuff about it that people like exists in conflict with capital and with fucking corporate interest. Like, it's weird how much people are like, oh, I wish we could go back to the old ways. I wish we could go back to the old internet when we all believed that it would change the world, make everybody happy, and everybody talk to each other, and it'd be perfect. Where it's like that era existed because nobody knew what the fuck to do with it yet. That era existed because nobody was good at monetizing it yet or turning you into a product yet. It was just a network of machines that could talk to each other and not this weird spider web that's designed to extract money out of you.
We made the devil's bargain. It became real, and therefore you could make money with it, and therefore there was money to be made by ruining it. And hi again, Going Postal. How are you? Did you miss us?
Yes.
I missed us. Oh.
The solution here, of course, is to kill all money forever, which I'm sure will go great when we hit Making Money, the book about making money.
Speaking of, the L-Space annotations point out a weird difference between the American and the UK versions of this book. So, when I was reading, someone mentions, like, oh, you can't tell Vimes about that, he'll go postal. Which I thought, like, oh, that's a cute reference, because, like, now the post office exists again. But it turns out, in the UK version of the book, they still say going spare.
They should have just kept it as going spare. It would make more sense.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to make Discworld less British?
Yeah, why did they... don't insult me by Americanizing it, or make it going postal on both sides, because it makes sense. You call it the book that on both sides of the bottom, clearly you thought we would get the joke.
Yeah, give me back the Scrofula and the Clutie Dumplings and the Veruca Gnome.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm here for the British shit.
No one's gotten Scrofula in ages. What are we even doing?
What are we even doing out here?
Well, we haven't been out in Lanker, so no one... I think you only get it out in mountainous regions, apparently.
Well, you only get it where there's kings to touch you.
Yes.
In terms of other weird bit characters, I really liked the reserve guy Hancock, who actually kept 2 katanas strapped to his back at all times.
Yeah, Mr. Mall Ninja.
Yeah.
Great Mall Ninja guy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That is... Speaking of cyberpunk characters, that is somebody's OC from a Discworld tabletop game, and that's great.
I liked the art museum dude.
Oh, yep. Mr. Stitch.
Who was like genuinely quite sincere about art. I mean, Pratchett was still making fun of art, but he didn't actually make fun of the character as much as I expected him to.
Yeah.
For like this sort of a bit. He was just kind of like, no, yeah, that's just his thing. He's really into this artistic stuff.
Yeah, which is what it said was what you want from your art gallery curator.
I love the one joke in there that was like, oh yes, we're trying to make the museum a lot more interactive these days. And Vimes is like, well, how? Do they can people pick up the paintings? And he's like, well, no, of course not, but they can come in and, look at them, and they can think about them. Very good.
We brought in the stepladder so they can look at them from up.
Yeah. That's like a joke for no one except for people who work at museums. Yeah. Because that's always kind of the push is like, how do we get more people in our museum? We've got to make it more interactive, more dynamic, more relevant to modern day stuff. But it's like, okay, but this is a building full of art and old stuff. How, and you can't touch most of it. How the hell are we supposed to make that more exciting to people? This is the... Yeah,
he was just happy people were trying to Da Vinci Code the painting.
Mm-hmm. My sister is a marine biologist who works at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, and she has a lot of words about how a lot of aquariums these days have foregone their regular signs for the displays in front of their fish tanks for touchpads, so people can search through them and find exactly which fish they're looking at, and also have interactive videos and factoids about the fish that are inside of that tank.
But the thing about the touchpad, only one person can use a touchpad at a time. Everyone can look at a sign.
Exactly.
I ran into this at the Seattle Aquarium not too long ago.
Yeah. Plus, they get dirty really fast. You got to wipe them down more often. Plus, they break down. They need OS updates. It's just, it's wildly worse than just a really decently illustrated sign. And
I want to know what this fish is, but I can't because I have to wait for this kid to finish playing with the sign.
Yeah, sometimes more interactivity is worse.
Yeah, I'm trying to be woman interactive. I'm trying to interact with women. Which we get a lot of in this book. It does pass the Bechdel test. Sorry, June.
Yes, it does.
What did y'all think of the demon inside Vime's head?
Kind of mixed.
The summoning dark.
Squiggly boy?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I think Vimes should get to be a little attuned to you.
Yeah, I mean, don't
Reminded me of a Pokemon
worry.
unknown.
That scar is going to come up again.
Oh boy.
That's
Oh,
not
boy.
that's not like a one-off bet, even as much as he's being like, no, that didn't really happen.
Obviously that didn't happen. I was just, a little off my game.
Yeah, no.
Vimes definitely has been possessed by an eldritch force and is now a little bit fucked up.
It's better than the damn dungeon dimensions.
Yeah.
I thought
That's
it
for
was interesting.
sure.
I liked the scenes inside Vimes' head. It was very... I said it a bunch. It's very Batman. He's just so cool about this.
I did like it trying to find ways in, and I did adore the way that the berserker rage that it had was probably my favorite scene in the book. But it just felt a little bit flat if push comes to shove and this ancient cosmic horror has to go, fuck, I'm out.
Yep.
It just felt a little bit too isn't Vimes the coolest guy ever.
It did, but also, I think Vimes is the coolest guy ever.
I can't debate that.
That's my biggest problem with this. I'm going to give him too much credit because this is the book I read as a kid where I went, oh, he's so fucking cool. I thought the scene where it's like he has a guy in his head who's just like, now get out of town was so cool. And I was like, oh, that's so sick.
Need more Vimes clutching his eye and screaming.
There was a... Okay, speaking of good bit characters, at the start of the book, there's the start of the book, Vimes, there's a recurring thing throughout the book where Vimes absolutely positively has to get to his son at 6 p.m. to read in the book.
Yes.
And early on, he's like, shit, he's like, shit, he's almost gonna miss it, and he has to, like, commandeer a carriage, and the carriage driver is so fucking excited to have an excuse to go really fast.
Yeah, do you want me to
He's
pop
like,
it
"Oh,
up
boy."
on 2 wheels?
Yeah, do you want me to pop it up on 2 wheels while we... And he's like, oh no, the drawbridge is up. We're gonna have to jump it. I'm like, no, you can't jump a 2-master on 4 horses. Like, you can't if you go between the masts. And he has to, like, explain... He has to, like, explain to his boss, he's like, you've been going fast again. He's like, well, it was police business. It's okay this time.
Doing some bullet shit.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
And this, of course, leads into the final section where you get Vimes going berserker rage while reading the book.
Yeah.
That is not my cow.
And he read it. He read it so loud it told everyone else what was going on.
And him, I did always love the whole bit of him just doing the cool epic fight scene while going, no, that is a hippopotamus. I thought I loved that as a kid.
That is a horse.
This is the book that I read, not even as a kid, as like a teenager or something that I was the most, oh, that's so
It
cool.
was,
about.
though. It was
This
really
is
good.
my guilty one. It's really good. It's fun. It's awesome.
It's very cool. Also, sorry, one more character to add to the bit character cavalcade
One more.
who I really liked. I want to give a shout out to our boy Willikins.
One more disappearing act.
My
Hopefully
man
Iris
got to
fucking
do
died.
R.I.P.
so much epic murder butler
Goodbye,
shit
Iris.
in this.
Scored.
Goodbye, Iris.
Goodbye, Iris.
What? Hello?
Welcome back.
Can you hear me okay?
You said one more and then you
Weird.
disappeared.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Edit out what I just said. Future Iris, we're starting from here again. Just to add one more individual to the cavalcade of wacky bit characters that we liked. Just want to give a shout out to epic murder butler Willikins.
Yeah.
He gets to do this so many times.
Being an awesome coach. He gets to be an awesome coach driver.
Just to drive them
He
back
gets
to the future horse.
He gets to murder some people. He gets to be so fucking Walter the Angel of Death from Helsing in this. And I love that for him, frankly. I think that's so good.
You love to see a butler
I
buttle.
think you love to see a butler assist his epic sir with incredible murders.
Willikins is sort of a boy murder maid, if you will. A boider maid. A boitler.
Yeah,
A butler maid.
the male version of a murder maid is an epic murder butler.
The moments where
We just
Vimes
love-
is talking to him and Vimes is like, oh yeah, you used to fight? He's like, yes, sir, I was a part of this gang. And Vimes is like, Jesus, those guys are fucked
They have
up.
that conversation every book,
yes,
though.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, but he's like, you didn't stitch any sharpened pennies to the back of your hat this time, did you, Willikins? No, sir.
Yeah, they were like, they go into a little bit of like, oh yeah, when Vimes was a kid, his gang was involved in a very long and protracted turf dispute with this other gang from over there, and because of that, he never ran into Willikin's gang, who's over here, and that's probably for the best because Willikin's gang would have kicked both of their asses, which is great.
What made all this weird?
Yeah. But yeah, no, this book was just full of weird little bit characters. And also Sybil was here, and I just want to say again, I love that Sybil got to do things. That's good. Love it.
She got to
every time there's a Vimes book and Sybil isn't on camera, I'm like, where's Sybil?
Got to burn
I want to see.
She got to burn a home invader down with a stable full of dragons.
That was great. That was so cool.
I will also say on the subject, because going back to it, just remembering on the subject of the whole like summoning dark demon stuff, I did really love the threat of the summoning dark and the mind signs in general. It did actually feel rather threatening as a thing, the way that they treated it. It was kind of spooky. The way that the dwarfs refused to talk about the idea of it as a like thing of vengeance that was scrawled on the wall in dead blood, and that's what gave it power. I don't know. I like that. I thought that was fun and actually a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
I would believe in that in a way that I wouldn't easily believe in a bunch of gods sitting on the top of Cori Celesti playing games of chance. I would believe in, you go deep into the earth, the darkness is alive and it'll kill you. That seems like a pretty rational thing to believe.
Especially, if I lived underground all the time, I would probably also believe the darkness would kill me, because it can. Like,
the way that everybody's just like, the darkness is bad, some of the signs there are really bad, and then they see the one that's like, oh, he carved this in his own blood as his last act of vengeance against those who had wronged him so deeply.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we can't even talk about this one. It's like, oh, okay, that tracks. That's actually quite spooky.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we get another All Things Strive. Huh?
Yes.
Yep.
We've been waiting for that.
Yeah, we do! Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, we got the second version of the history, what the things Talk said.
Yeah.
Which I really loved.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Great little creation myth there by Pratchett.
Yeah.
Great job.
You were brothers the whole time.
I really love that, and also there's a whole, I think, very purposeful parallel between the two versions of that creation myth and Brick as a character. Because, like, you have the beginning where it's like, the troll wanders the earth knowing nothing, being nothing, doing that. And then you have, through a lot of the book, you have a troll that's really stupid, wandering around, knowing nothing and being the center of everything while being this deeply pitiful figure. It fits there, and then in the end you get the different version of it. And also Brick gets to be Detritus's definitely not kid.
His protege,
if you will. His child.
Yeah.
It's his kid. This is a kid.
His surrogate son. Yeah.
I really like that little bit.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the bits
that
in
was
there.
cute.
There's a lot of bits in this I really love. It has one of my favorite Vimes moments maybe ever, actually, which is the moment when they go and meet with Vetinari, and after the meeting, Vetinari's like, Drumknot, given a bet between a centuries-old being of pure vengeance from beyond time and the commander on the other side, who would you place $1 on? She's like, wouldn't say, it's too close to call.
And that one would go to the judges, sir.
Yeah. I love that little bit.
Yeah.
That's some Batman shit.
We get
that is Batman right there.
We get a couple bits that weren't funny at the time, but have become funny with context. Where we're in the cave, and the ancient dwarves and trolls washed away from the Battle of Koom Valley have been forever preserved in the dripping and covered in a thin layer of rock by the dripping stalactites. And Terry says they were glazed by eternal drip.
I didn't even realize that. God damn it.
Also,
yo, that's hype.
Yo, sus, Amogus, and also the whole thing with the painter Methodica Rascal found the cube and accidentally turned it on by saying, like, the dwarf word for talk or speak sounds like a chicken clucking. And...
Yeah, it was like a combination of the dwarf and the troll words, and it was awk.
Yeah.
And
that's
Methodia thought there was a chicken that was trying to kill him,
and it drove him mad, and so I kept thinking, yes, chicken jockey. Chicken QB.
Chicken jockey, which also, like, that... Methodia Rascal was, like, just so-so, but I just want to say the name Methodia Rascal is a fantastic trans woman name, and for any of y'all looking to transition sometime in the future, you can have that one. It's really good.
Yeah, well,
maybe change it, like, a little bit, because, like... Well, you know, like you don't want to steal it from the Discworld novel, then have people go,
Yeah.
did you take your name from the Discworld novel? But, like...
Also,
definitely
people would ask you if
and
you...
make your persona a chicken.
They would ask you whether or not you would dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, and it would get really complicated to explain.
Yeah.
So.
That
Like-
anime isn't even that good. Like
Yeah.
No.
But, like, Rascal is such a
it's not.
good name, and also everyone keeps, they keep
is.
referring to the painting as a rascal, or the rascal, or possibly the Rascal. It's a good bit.
yeah. I love how much it's just, like, a known thing in the city that this painting might have a secret in it. How just, like, everyone is just like, yeah, no, that's the painting that, like, probably has some big secret in it. Duh.
Yeah, it's probably a
Everyone
treasure
knows
map.
about it. We've all been to the museum and tried to solve the secret of the painting.
we all bought our copy of Masquerade. We all tried to Da Vinci Code the painting.
Yep. It's great.
Also, there's a bit where they mentioned that I think Brick has no grace or whatever, and it's really close to being, they have no style, they have no grace. This troll has a funny face.
I feel like he would make that joke if he knew about it.
Would you say that...
Yeah.
Would you say that Detritus's coconut gun fires in spurts, and if you get hit with it, it's
I
gonna
think
hurt?
you could say that about the Peacemaker,
Siva Gunner, when will you rip a Discworld track? There are multiple Discworld video games. When will this happen?
Please.
When are we going to get a high quality video game rip of the Hedgehog song?
And there are so many audiobooks that you can pull from for assets, too. This one in particular, you can get a really, really crisp cut of Angua saying screaming orgasm from this book.
Oh, you sure
specifically.
can.
And I think you could use that in a lot of remixes, if you really put your
Also, the
mind to
women
it.
do be mud wrestling.
Siva Gunner has
The women
never,
do.
as far as I can tell, ripped a single Discworld video game. There's 3 of them. This is a solvable problem. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but do any of them have useful songs
Yeah,
in
but
them?
who cares?
them
They
was-
rip
I mean,
songs no one's heard of all the time.
They rip like the Balatro song, like...
Yeah, the main character of one of them was Eric Idle. I would be shocked if there's no musical numbers in that one. Are they good? I don't know. Are they there? Probably.
Ah, fuck. Never mind. The second game starts with the music video.
Boom.
Oh, God, that would be awful.
I'm gonna get right on this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start bothering them about it as soon as possible.
You gotta send a Clax message over to them real
So
fast.
sorry.
Anything else we want to get into before we get to the rankings?
You had that. You said you had a big honking thing about policing or something.
Oh,
that
I
you
just want
wanted
to talk about it. Like, yeah, this book's approach to policing is really something, huh?
Yeah.
Like, it feels a bit like in the previous book, Pratchett just kind of went, okay, I've solved my contradictions about policing. Now to make more police books. Now that I've solved that, I can get back to writing police books. It's like, okay, I mean... Okay, sure. Like, I'll take it, but yeah, he really doesn't have any answers here except what if there was a really, really good guy with a gun, and by a gun we mean all political power.
Yeah, what if what if everyone with power was just perfect?
Like, it's difficult, and I think, like, he does a lot with it, and there's a lot of really, really great morals in the book, but he doesn't really, that is still his default solution that he hasn't figured anything out for.
His only answer to how do you deal with this is have a really good person in power who has this slightly smaller version of himself inside of his own head.
You know, I'm beginning to wonder if most of those kinds of people in real life don't actually have tiny people inside of their heads, and in fact just get to do whatever they want with no consequences. And maybe that's why the world is fucked up.
At the
But
same time, I think that's
I
probably
don't
what
know.
propelled a lot of his anger, is just like, why this is what it should be like. This is what you should have to be if you're in power. Which I think is kind of like, I think this is kind of the central contradiction that a lot of weird nerds go through that either make them into you either become a fascist or you become a leftist, because you assume that if someone's in power, they deserve it, that they have done the work, that they're smart in all these ways. And then when they're a fucking idiot and also evil as hell, your only conclusions are either one, well, something must be wrong, I must be wrong, there must be something going on here. You either slide into, I'm going to become an evil fascist about this, or you start going, no, we have to fundamentally change everything.
Yeah.
And Pratchett had that anger that made him go, no, we have to fundamentally change everything, which is why he was a cool guy.
It just reminds me so much of the one bit, and I think I've referenced it on this show before, but it just reminds me of the one classic bit in video game of all time, Disco Elysium. Don't purchase it these days, just pirate it. That's just like, you talk for ages about becoming the big communism builder, and the end of that like thought cabinet quest line is, congratulations, 0.0000% of communism has been built. You will now turn your efforts towards the thing that all communists later turn their efforts towards, which is building a perfect scale replica of the fucked world you already live in to try to determine exactly where things went wrong. Again, as somebody who's been making a cyberpunk comic for 10 years, I think about that quote on a daily basis.
Dude, congratulations, you've got your university degree in truth. What are you going to do with it, smart guy?
Yeah. Great. Terry's thing was, I'm going to build a version of the world that works. And yes, we had to tweak some bits of it that don't make sense in real life. But I did get it to work inside of this set of books, okay?
But, like, apart from that, the whole, I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff in this book that I want to be more critical of. I want to be more like, hey, it's kind of fucked up the way that he goes out and finds... It's kind of fucked up that his vision of race riot in the city is two different minorities attacking each other. Like, okay.
Which he solves by getting them both hammered.
Right. Like, that's sure something.
That's tacky.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that I could do like that, but you can tell that Pratchett has a lot of anger, and that anger is pointed in a very specific direction that I'm thankful for. And that I can't completely fault him. I can't be out here like, oh, well, you didn't get everything completely right. When he is genuinely there, he cares. He cares a lot. Yeah. I don't know. It's harder for me to be critical of this book that definitely is pushing in the right direction and wants things to be better in a very real way, that cares about things like the truth and the fact that when there is racial divisions and other similar divisions, usually they are being set up by the people in power in order to keep things going the way they are and hold on to the power that they have. The ideas like that, okay, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that even if it's messy. I wish that some things had been better in the book, but I'll take that. I don't know. It's a weird, messy book in a lot of ways, but it's really fun. There's also like, well, there's something else, but I think I mentioned a fan letter, so I'll save it for that. Yeah.
I do have a couple quick bits I can run down before we get out. There's something I want to check off because there are pretty good bits. So Mr. Shine, the secret troll king, shows up a bunch, and there's the obligatory joke where there's like, what is he, a cleaning product? Obviously, is he like Mr. Clean? But apparently in England they have Mr. Sheen.
Oh my god, for real? This is a fake country.
There's the bit where where Colin goes, he's like looking at the painting going, huh, war, huh, what is it good for? And he's like, what if there's a bunch of fascists trying to invade you? Okay, fine. What if you're to enslave people? Okay, fine, it's good for that. Good back and forth.
We just had the whole conversation, war, what's it good for? Here's some good things. And like,
that's not
I
even
meant to say absolutely nothing. God damn it.
It's not even the first Edwin
Several
Starr
specific
reference
things.
we've had in this series. But it's good. There's a good bit in there about how there's a lot going on with the Grags and stuff, but and one of them says, like, oh, you can't trust him, he's seen the light. And it's funny that saying someone has seen the light is bad if you're a dwarf. There's a whole bit where when Sally stops being a swarm of bats, she's naked, and only boy vampires get to stay dressed when they come back together. There's a bit where...
That's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on there.
There's a bit where,
I mean, she specifically says, like, she thinks it's due to all the weird way that people treat vampires.
Yeah.
Like,
it's all the skimpy night dress stuff.
yeah. Just, like, this weird, like, the narrative of reality is kind of sexist.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like, she's so annoyed with it, and it makes it kind of funny.
There's the bit where, Carrot is worried because Angua hasn't come home in a couple days because she's out policing, and, and he's like, she hasn't come to our bed in days, and someone's like, he's like, or her doggy bed. There's also the bit where they're spelling BATH and WALK in front of Angua because she's like full wolf mode.
Such a dumb bit, but it's funny.
And finally, when Sybil accuses Vimes of gallivanting around in Koom Valley, he's like, I've never gallivanted. I don't know how to vant, and I certainly don't have a galley. There you go.
I thought Koom Valley itself was really cool. I want
to visit there and immediately fucking die.
Yeah, does L-Space have anything about that being based on a real place or anything? Because I feel like this is the first time in a while we've gotten a return to some really fucking weird ass... Like, we've gone to a weird fucking place, and that hasn't happened for a while in Discworld. It feels like it's a fairly... We haven't done a road trip type book in a while, and it feels like fairly charted territory.
It felt
We haven't gotten anything like the Upside Down Mountain.
It felt very Northern England to me.
Yeah, I don't... There's no mention of, like, the real place it's based on, just, like, the real... Kind of the real battle that Koom Valley was based on.
It felt very, like... It felt very Northern England to me, in the sense of just, like... This is a place... There is a bog here, and if you step in the wrong place, you die instantly.
Yeah.
And there's some mountains around, and everything's kind of changing at all times. There's a bunch of weird caves, and you are probably going to die in one.
Yeah. It's also, like, kind of Yellowstone-coded, I would say. With all the geological activity in the underground caves and shit.
Maybe more...
Absolutely fascinating.
I definitely
really
feel like some viewer from Europe is going to listen to this and be like, oh, well, this is obviously, like, South Norway or something.
Yeah. Definitely
like, oh, okay.
Email us
and
that, and
like
also go update the wiki.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Yes, please do. It is the free online encyclopedia that anyone can edit, including you.
It could be you. You could edit it.
I'm editing it right now.
You could edit it.
It says Princess Grace is great.
Speaking of editing things, let's edit our official ranking to include this book. Now, the last discover... I just said discovers. The last watch book that we put on the list was Night Watch, and that went into the #1 spot. I am going to say I don't think this book was as good as Night Watch.
Correct.
Okay, the last one we did was going Postal. Night Watch is on top, but there have been a couple of years
What's the last watch?
Yeah, Going Postal is #2.
I also say this is no going
Let's talk
Postal.
about the last watch book.
I'm an idiot.
Let me cut it down a bit.
It's not as Going Postal.
Do y'all think this was better or worse than The Truth?
Oh,
that's a good
hard.
split the room
I don't
point.
know about that.
The problem is The Truth had, like, the news blorbos.
The thing is, I really love the...
I do love the newsicule. the nupple.
I do fucking... The further I get from The Truth, the more I love those.
Because, like, even every time Otto shows up in this book, it's like, oh, it's Otto. And also, both in that he's taking pictures and also that he's a useful point of comparison with, I think, like, Sally looks at Otto... Someone looks at Otto and is like, well, no one's afraid of Otto because he's like this bumbling comedy vampire who takes steps to, like, trim down his widow's peak and like, be very, like, he's one of your goofy fun Germans, not one of your Nazi Germans,
Yeah. I would say that this book is better than Carpe Jugulum.
Yeah.
And I love The Witches, but I would say it's better than Carpe Jugulum.
I would say this book is better than
so
the Amazing Maurice.
Yeah.
The spooky parts I liked a little bit more. I felt a little more spooked by them.
Yeah.
The the funny parts I thought were a little funnier, and the overall point of the story or where it was pointed I liked even more.
I think I'll agree. I mean, I remember
I can see that.
recency bias definitely made Amazing Maurice hit a lot harder, especially because none of us had read it at that point. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would agree in putting it in position 6.
Position 6 sounds about
I
right.
think 6
Yeah.
sounds right. I could definitely see it a bit higher, but like I'm not going to argue for it because I know I'm really biased because this was the one that was my
even
favorite.
if it beats the truth, I do not think there's any way it would beat Feet of Clay.
Yeah, like, it might be better than
No
the truth,
way.
but I think I like the truth better. Or at least, like, I like the idea of the truth better.
I think that's what it's got to be, where it's like, even if it's objectively a better book than the truth, I like the truth a little more.
Yeah.
It does...
I like my blurbos, and I like the story of let's make a newspaper. I love how compelling that is.
I have invoked the need to know characters as a weakness before.
Yeah.
And you can definitely invoke it there because the truth was almost entirely new characters.
Yeah, true. Yeah, let's put it. Let's ease it in at number 6. I think that's a good spot.
I
for
am
it.
okay with that.
Yeah. So next time, we are going to be reading Wintersmith, the third book in the Tiffany Aching series of young adult novels. So we should be back to witch stuff out on the chalk with the wee free men, which is very exciting.
Looking for a lost cat in the ram tops.
Yes. Speaking of which, we got a couple of really good fan emails. Big shout out to Murray, aka Pieman70, and also big shout out to EO. You both wrote really excellent pieces of fan mail. They're a little long to read in their entirety, but I will mention 2 real choice bits from yours. Murray wrote that writer from Scotland said that we're doing cool, and it is awesome that we have listeners in Scotland. Hell yeah.
Woo!
We did mispronounce Glasgow in previous episodes. I deeply apologize for that.
I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Also, apparently the one Knock McFeagle's name is pronounced Hamish rather than Hamish. Also, Wazzer should be pronounced like that and not Wazzer. Yeah, but also really, really cool to hear from that. I love the line, I am a late Gen X, early millennial. One of the bad habits I see in my generation is treating any popular media from roughly the mid-'70s to the early 2000s as an untouchable sacred classic which should not be criticized or examined in anything way unless it is a new, exciting way of saying those things are brilliant. I find it quite refreshing when people who are significantly younger than me and from different backgrounds and experiences read stuff. Yeah, cool. I find your reviews very insightful, and they definitely make me reevaluate a book series I love. Although to prove a lot of what you say, while I own most of the Discworld books, including some of the maps, when I go to read one, it is never a Rincewind book. So you're right, listeners. And also happy that we enjoyed Monstrous Regiment. Monstrous Regiment is so good.
I gotta say, like, I mean, if you love something very deeply, the number one thing you should be willing to do is criticize it and talk about its weird parts. Because if you aren't willing to do that, if you aren't willing to hold the things you love up to the light and look at all their weird imperfections, you don't actually love that thing. You love the version of that exists in your head, and it will never evolve beyond the thing that exists in your head. It will remain like that forever, and it will rot and turn into nostalgia for something that doesn't exist. While if you take the things you love and you hold them up and you reanalyze them and you think about how they're broken and weird, you'll also find the ways in which they're interesting and fun, and find the new things you can get from them, and you'll discover more about them, and you'll enjoy them more, and won't get caught up in a trap of wishing that you could go back to when you were 5 years old and playing Super Mario Bros. And become a fascist.
This is very true. I feel like finding all of the weird, less than stellar things about Discworld has only made me appreciate the series more and appreciate the effect that it's had on my life, which is very positive. Not least because I get to talk with 3 of my favorite people about it on a regular basis. Also, from AO's letter, They mentioned they have a guarding dark tattoo, which apparently there is a fan-in design for what the guarding dark looks like. That is on L space. I don't know if you caught that when you were on the wiki there. Also, they had a fan theory about. They said, I think Vimes' steady corruption by the summoning dark is much more visible to others than it is to him. They're too scared to bring it to his attention. Note he doesn't look in a mirror even once after becoming possessed. On a second or 12th reading, dwarves around Vimes are extremely wary much quicker than anyone else, and when Vimes feels his skin jump in the cell with Helm Clever, even Cullen acts like he's seen something frightening in his commander. When the dwarves run from him in terror when he's thinking police brutality thoughts, I think they can see it on him. I visualize this in my head as a distressing pallor and veininess to his face, and to a fluctuating blacking out of his eyes. But really, it could be anything. Considering how it essentially makes him go Chuny mode, I think that is a great visual interpretation of what that would look like. Ooh,
yeah, specifically,
that's cool.
Apparently, the guarding dark thing is on the forums that Terry Pratchett used to be on. Someone posted their interpretation, and Terry Pratchett liked the post. And now the official Discworld website sells a summoning dark keychain that also has that version of the guarding dark on it.
That's cool.
So it is semi-official.
Voted.
Also, AO says, did y'all notice this is an extended lampooning of the Da Vinci Code? I didn't until I tried to read that book. God, the Da Vinci Code sucks. This is way better. Agreed.
I feel glad I missed the Da Vinci Code's cultural cycle. I remember seeing it everywhere growing up, but I was too young to, engage with it at the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I did not miss anything.
I watched some Uncharted LPs, and I think I got the better experience.
Yeah.
That's more or less
you can watch people play the Da Vinci Code video game if you want.
I watched the movie adaptations of that and Angels and Demons featuring Tom Hanks as world-famous symbologist Gary Da Vinci Code. Just to save you some time, the Illuminati aren't real, but maybe they are. And also, what if Jesus fucked? That's what those books are about. Makes you think.
I'm trying to find Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, me too, you know.
me when I watch
I thought this book was called Pud. That's why I was excited to read it. Unbelievable.
Me when I'm watching Lupin the Third Part 5, I think, is when they have to stop Da Vinci from brain cloning himself over everyone.
Oh no, my friend, that is part 4 where they are in Italy, and also Lupin is married to an Italian woman for some reason.
Yeah, and Naked Da Vinci is trying to engage everyone in a mind battle.
Lupin the Third is amazing. I could do an entire other podcast about it.
I love anime.
Anime is so good.
I feel like 2/3 of every episode would just be how fucking awful most of what's going on is, but how cool the cool parts are.
They did Rebecca Rossellini so dirty.
Yeah, if you want a series to practice criticizing something while also realizing what you love about it, Lupin the Third is a great example of that, because that is a series that is made almost entirely of problems, and yet in every Lupin fan's mind, all of those problems sort of overlay on each other to create a perfect Phantom Lupin the Third series that shimmers with how good it is. The ones we actually get in real life are just shadows on the cave wall of what that perfect Lupin piece of media is.
It's 2025. Learn to love things with warts. Learn to love the warts.
Yeah,
I'm warts.
They also mentioned in their email. That there is the final version of the Summoning Dark, sort of, in that Vimes is in the middle of Koom Valley with the painting surrounding him in the circle, and then a trail of people away from it.
Oh my god, you're right. Holy shit,
yeah,
I didn't realize that. That's good. Whoa.
Yeah, a fun little bit.
That's sick.
They also mentioned seeing some parallels between the dwarves in this and some stuff with Judaism. And I wanted to mention that because that's been a thing since when Tolkien wrote dwarves. There's a whole complicated history there to them.
Okay,
because
we do know that Pratchett actually does at least talk to a few folks about this, because that was a big deal the last time the golems came up. It's still a little bit confusing that he uses Judaism for both the golems and for the dwarves when the two have no connection to one another.
Yeah,
but
correct. It's I did notice that with the way they talk about the Grags, and coming back to they do keep running delis, don't they?
Yeah, and I think with the Grags specifically, it really reminded me of when there are like communities of like Orthodox Jews inside of cities that handle their own like internal conflicts and stuff like that. Like this is a big thing. I don't feel like it's.
No, none of us are really qualified to talk about it, unfortunately.
I'm not qualified to say that though. Yeah.
None of us are qualified to talk about this. I'm definitely not, but I do want to say, if this is something that you are qualified to talk about and it interests you, there's a lot of...
Please, I would love... I was trying to find this because I kept thinking this was there, but I couldn't find any resources on it.
It's a fascinating thing where, I mean, people have talked at length about the history of Tolkien's... Because Tolkien was, like, specifically inspired by Jewish language when he was writing by Yiddish, I believe, when he was writing the Dwarven language, and actually, like, there's a lot of bad stuff there with, wow, they sure all love gold, but also there's a lot of other details with, like, they have in The Hobbit very specific seasonal holidays that they observe in specific ways, and there's a lot of stuff that you can unpack, both good and bad and complicated there. And if you're interested in unpacking that, please go ahead and do it. It's a lot to talk about, both good in how it's explored and also very bad in how it can stereotype.
You could spend an entire life and career unpacking what's cool and also sucks about the Lord of the Rings series, though.
Yeah.
That's its own masters in fine art. But yeah, number 6, big numbies.
It's pretty good.
Thank you
Well,
all
small
for
numbies.
listening. Thank you for listening, Discoverers. If you want to write into us, you can hit us up at disc@hypnovire.us. That's DISC at hypnovir.us. We also have socials, medias, including we are on Blue Sky at DiscPod. We are on Mastodon, the only social media that is decentralized and won't break your heart, at DiscPod at queer.party. We're on Tumblr now at DiscPod. The YouTube account should be running by now. If it's not, I'm going to go to Google and beat Mr. Google up with my own 2 fists.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, we're all over the freaking place. I'm Iris J. You can find me online at irisj.net. Iris J Comics on various socials medias. In terms of stuff to promote from me, I have some bandanas in my shop. Those are pretty cool. You can buy
they're
those.
good bandanas.
They're good bandanas. You can wear them on your body. You can tie them to, I don't know, the antenna of your car or something. You can do weird shit with it. Put them on your luggage, and you won't lose your luggage. Check it out. It's the Queer Villain Pride flag. Very fun. For my non-Discworld thing, I'll recommend. As you may know, it is that time of the year again. It is that time where there is a lot of new anime to watch. And this is a topic that is never far from my mind. Anime is cool, and I like it because I have a weird-shaped brain. I will say that there are a lot of big, obvious series to go for this season. I think that personally, my big frontrunner for the whole summer is probably going to be The Summer Hikaru Died, which is a series put out based on a webcomic. It is produced by Psy Games, the folks who make Uma Musume Pretty Derby, but also did Apocalypse Hotel and Bang Brave Bang Bravern and a bunch of other shit. And it is a toxic yaoi supernatural horror romance about 2 boys who are friends, and then one of them dies in the mountains. But don't worry, he gets better. Only maybe it's not him, but maybe the other boy doesn't care because maybe he still wants to make out with that boy. And oh man, things are gonna go so bad. It's gonna be so good. They do a great job of translating the tension and the moody lighting of the original manga into an animated format, and they do some really interesting things with fade cuts and with color composition that I feel still feels really fresh in the world of animation. Give it a watch. It's on Netflix. Or if you don't have Netflix, I'm sure you can find it by other methods. Also read the comic. The comic is really, really good. That's my recommendation.
I'm Juniper. I'm wonderful. Everyone loves me. You can find me online. I'm streaming twitch.tv/junipertheory, or you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm junipertheory at bimbo.city. At http bimbo.city will get you to my website. That's where I stream. It just links to my Twitch. For the thing I'm going to promote, related to streaming, I might be a part of this, so I'm sort of promoting it, but I'm submitting stuff to it. I probably won't get anything in. We'll see. But in September, so hopefully you'll hear this by the time the podcast will be out by that time, is September 19th is Big Bad Game-a-thon 2025, which is a bunch of just streams of funny, bad video games from people who really appreciate them and want to celebrate them and show off how cool and funny they are. They're awesome. I know some of the people involved in it, and it's super cool, and it's a great time. If you want to watch a bunch of really janky, kusoge, strange, or like really good but just really strange video games, check it out. It's really fun. So it'll be on September 19th. And maybe I will be able to show off a game. And if not, I will definitely be watching it and posting like, oh,
you got to tell me off the air what you want.
My friend submitted 4 separate pinball games that I've talked with her at length about since I played.
Oh, is that what you're submitting for?
So,
oh.
There is at least one, but I've helped.
I know, but I know now. Hearing that tells me what you submitted, so excellent.
But either way, watch it and watch for pinball.
I am still Belina. I am still easiest to find in the show notes. As much as I hate to say it, I think I need to forgo actually plugging something because like all of the anime stuff is stuff that that's already been recommended recently, and the main things that I've been getting into on the side, I'm dealing with a midlife crisis by getting something into Toho, and that is the last thing on this planet that actually needs plugged.
No, plug it.
Absolutely,
plug Toho,
Toho.
please.
God, I don't even know where to. I wouldn't even know where to go play Imperishable Night. I don't fucking care.
I agree with this. Play Imperishable Night. I do care. Do it.
I will link to Imperishable Night in the show notes. Start playing.
Yeah,
Toho.
that's just as it's like trying to get somebody.
Maybe.
I'll give you a link to I'm not going to I'm not going to disparage it. There's a VOD that I'll link you to later. Grace, go.
I have been the internet's beloved Princess Grace. You can find my writing, programs, podcast posts, and everything else is fit to plug at princess.software. I'll get out of my weird creative slump at some point. You know how it is.
Yeah, I feel it. I've been there.
I know I wrote a story every month last year. Look at one of those. That was 7 months ago now. If you're going to do it, you'd have done it already.
Hey, that was an incredible amount of output. You should feel proud of that.
It was great. I should do it again. I should do 1/12 of that again sometime.
Yeah.
For my plug, either, I don't know, there's that Ashton video on Masquerade. That's pretty good. There's, I don't know, Dress Up Darling Season 2's coming out. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully that boy realizes he's got some gender. Apocalypse Hotel fucking whipped.
Have you not seen the new My Dress Up Darling yet?
God, it is like right up there on the very top of Tracy and I's list.
They are, Season 2, they are burning money like they're the KLF.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Oh, yeah. They're going so hard.
The first episode has it opens with an entire fictional anime episode in it. And they animate it in a different style. And by different, I mean much more expensive.
It's got that, like, it's so,
awesome.
They made up a whole, like, cultural catgirl, all-purpose cultural catgirl nuku to, like, put in their anime about, Kitagawa-san and so on. It's so good.
And what's fucked up is I want that anime to be real now.
Yeah, it's so close to being real. I feel like I've seen so many animes that are almost this, but obviously it's not real.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening, folks. Until next time, truly, it was a thud. Keep on discing. Discos, diskettes, and disc arenas.
Mm-hmm. True. There's a little thud in all of us, I think.
Yeah. Is there a little thud in you? Do you want some?
Yes, but it stands for transgender HUD, the heads-up display all trans people have. Tell me
Oh,
like
of
how much
course.
ammo I have.
It's what
my
makes us so
health,
good at speedrunning.
an arrow pointing me to my next objective.
That's how I send messages to other trans people out in
Yeah.
the world, telling them that they look great and they should feel
Yeah.
great about themselves, without alerting any other passersby. The T-HUD.
HUD, of course, stands for Horse Understander Deluxe, which I also am. And you can find out more at my podcast at isekai.horse. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. On the Shoulders of Giants, I'm guesting there all summer to talk about Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. Listen to that too. Goodbye.
Oh, it's called On the Shoulders of Giants. I thought you were guesting on Horse Truck. This new to me.
Oh, well, I could guest on Horse Truck too if you'll have me. Shit.
Truly, it was Thud. Stay tuned for our bonus episode coming someday where we actually learn to play Thud and then talk about its themes in relation.
We still
to
haven't watched the Going Postal movie.
Yeah, we
Miniseries,
should
or
do
whatever
that
it
next.
is.
That's fun.
Tune in for the bonus episodes, maybe.
I'm clicking done with
Oh, thank
recording.
God.
I'm-
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye!